continue typing practice if you want to. So make sure to minimize your window. You know how to minimize. We learned that a couple weeks ago. I think Miss Elena showed you that. Minimize. And I'm going to stop my... And if you look up here, I'm showing you I know I have a few just a couple new students. But right here, we have these buttons. This is the close button. This is minimize. No. This is minimize. This is maximize and restore. So we have close, minimize, maximize, or restore. So we're going to do the minimize button. That means that the program will be saved on the, what's this? Taskbar. Good. So I'm going to minimize one of my programs. I'm going to minimize my music. So I'm going to minimize, and you can see it down here on my taskbar. And today we're going to cover a review. I'm going to maximize my window so you can see this. This is the agenda for today. We're going to review Unit 3. We're going to correct our homework. So if you can get out packet number 3 out. And we're going to learn Chapter 4 today. I want to go over the attendance, learn your names. So Blanca, good morning. I have How. Is that I have? Did I say that right? How? Good morning. Helen. Good morning. Miguel. Good morning. Catherine is not here today. I know I got the note from Tom. You gave me the note from Catherine, right? Ronnie. Oh, hi, Ronnie. Good morning.
Good morning.
Ala.
Here.
Good morning. Kim. Good morning, Kim. Martha. Good morning, Martha. Mom is here. Good morning. Vivian. Good morning. Ruby. Good morning. Yen. Good morning.
Good morning.
And Zhang. Chong. Chong Zhang. I like that. Chong Zhang. And Rosalinda is here. Did I say everyone's name? Yes. What was your name again?
Maydalis Bermud.
Maydalis. And your last name again? And you are a new student. There you are. Okay, so I'll put you there. All right, well, welcome back, everyone. We're already on Chapter 4 today. I'll give this back to you. Thank you. All right, so Unit 3. Before we do our homework, though, I want to do a review. And for any new students, my name is Ms. Lisa Martinez, and I have a syllabus. If I haven't given it to you, like Maydalis, I have an extra syllabus right on the table there. If you could give that to her. I think I forgot to give. So if anyone needs classroom information, if you weren't here on the first day, let me know and we'll get you my syllabus. Okay? I'll try to show you a copy of it later. All right, so Chapter 3 we learned last week, and we're going to go over all the new words that we learned. If you go to page 40 and 41, you'll see of your textbook, page 40 and 41, you'll see these words with pictures, and we're going to go over it together. The first one was dialogue box. Dialogue box is a window with boxes, right? Here's a window. This is a dialogue box that you can click to select what you want. So when we were on Windows program, we went up to the top ribbon and we clicked on a dialog box launcher, which we'll show in a few minutes, and this window appeared. And we got to select different things to change our font. Our font is a fancy word for the letter styles, right? So like this font is white, big and bold. This font is black. This font is blue. And you can see how each of these are different styles, right? So we learned how to change the size, the color, the style of all of our fonts or letters. And let's see. So we did drop-down list menu, which appears when we click on the drop-down list arrows. which are all here. And then these boxes, we learned to make our selections by checking, right? And how do we check the boxes? Yeah, we just click, right? We get our mouse pointer, we move it over to the box, and we click to select, right? And if we decide, I don't want that, then we click again to get rid of it, to unselect. Well done. So that's page 46. Drop-down list menu is a list of choices that opens when you click on the drop-down arrow. And that should have been the first drop-down arrow. An arrow that points down. You can see a little tiny one right here that you can click to open a drop-down list arrow. So this one was selected, and then all of these colors appeared. If you click on this one, then another window would appear with many different options. So there's so many things there. It's sort of like taking a book off of a shelf and opening it, right? Putting it back. All those books in the library. Check boxes, clicking in the boxes to check or uncheck them for making a selection. Hardware. We learned that hardware is something that you can touch, right? The physical parts of the computer system, such as the monitor. So where's the monitor? Yes, Tom, monitor. Is this the monitor here? Screen. Yes. Or the keyboard. So the keyboard. All of these are hardware. If you can touch it, if you can knock on it, it's hardware, right? That's how I remember. And then we have the software, which are the programs that are added into the computer, the CPU, the thoughts. Think of it as the thinking, thoughts, the abilities, the skills, right? If you want to type a letter, then you need a Word program.
Word.
Or like Google Docs, right? If you want to type. If you want to make a chart of numbers, right? If you're doing banking, you want to have a program that, like Excel. Yes. Excel. If you want to search for something and want an answer, you want to click on maybe Google Chrome. That's one. There's others. I don't see the others here. If you want to do an email and send a message to someone, anyone, you would do Gmail. So these are all different apps and programs, things that you have on your phone, right? If you want to do something, if you want maybe to write notes, or you want to know the weather, or you want to know how many steps you do in a day, those are all apps you add to your phone, right? Then you can have that information. Well, that's the same with a computer. If you want it to type, then you need a typing program. If you want to draw, then you need a drawing program, okay? So that's what we have here. All of that is called software. Software. You can't touch it. Software, but it's needed. Appearance is the way an object looks, such as on the computer screen. Appearance. Settings. Information about how a program is set up. Okay. I wanted to ask you, am I going too slow? Because I can speak faster if you want. Am I doing okay? Or just talk normal? Because I can talk normal if you want. All right. I'm used to level 1 and level 2. All right, I won't slow down then. How about this? I'll just go normally, and if you think I'm going too fast, let me know. Okay? All right, so on your cell phone, you do settings, right? When you have your phone and you change the pictures, I should pull it out so that when you have a special picture that you put on the front cover, you change the settings. When you want the fonts to be really big because you can't see, you changing the settings. When it rings, ring, 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 but it says something else, quack, 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 you change the settings, right? All right, well, you can do the same thing on your computer. You can set the time. You can set the day, right? That's important. You can change the color. You can even change the language, right? Don't you have yours set for your own language? So you change settings. And again, you can do that on the computer. Menu buttons.
Menu buttons.
We see this on our cell phones also, the menu buttons. Not everything is on the screen. There's so much information that some of it is tucked away. Sort of like a filing cabinet. Like here is a filing cabinet. And not everything can be seen. You have to open it. And then you see a bunch of files. Here's a bunch of files, right? So when you select, I think I'm going to open this file. And you open it, and there's a bunch of information in here, right? So that's what the menu button does. A menu button is you click on it, and a whole menu appears with a bunch of things to do. Select something to select. And menu buttons have different looks. Sometimes it'll look like this. We call it a waffle. Waffle. Looks like a waffle. Then we have this, I'm sure there's a name for it. I say 3 lines. I'll have to find out what the name of it is. And then we have these 3 little dots. That's another menu button. Well, it does have a name. We call them menu buttons. These are the way menu buttons can look. A button you click to open a menu. There are different ways that a menu button looks or can look like. Okay, now that we've gone over everything, let's do a little mini quiz, okay, just to make sure we know this. Let's read this together. A window with boxes you can click to select what you want. What's that called? Do you remember?
A dialog box.
Yes, Ronnie's got it. Dialog box. Good. What is a box? You can click to select an option you want.
Checkbox.
Yep, checkbox. And here's this third one. An arrow you can click to make the drop-down list menu appear.
A drop-down list arrow.
Drop-down list arrow. Good. And this one, a list with options you can choose from.
Drop-down list menu.
Drop-down list menu. That's a mouthful. All right. Next one. The physical parts of the computer. What do we call that?
Hardware.
Yes, hardware. And then the programs that's added to the computer. Software. We can't touch it. Software. The way an object looks, such as on the computer screen. Appearance. So when we turn on our computer, we see the desktop. What color is our desktop always? Blue. Yes, blue. You can change the settings. My husband set it so that a family picture appears every time it goes on. So that's the appearance. All right. Information about how a program is set up. Settings that we can change. And then last, the button you click to open a menu.
Menu
button. And this is on page 40 and 41 of your book. So if you open your book, it should be there. It should also be part of your packet. If you open packet number 3, it should be there. All right. We should have a copy of that. All right. So these were the objectives. These are the I can statements, things that you should be able to do now. We've already learned this. Let's go over them and see if we can do this. Can we use a computer hardware and software? Have we been doing that?
Yes.
Do you know how to turn on the computer? Do you know how to select the typing program to start typing? Yes, you can do that. Use a program ribbon. Yes, we know what that is. It's the top. And we knew how to make selections, so we can do that. Here, let's see. Is that considered a ribbon? Yeah, it's kind of like a ribbon. We have tabs. We have the program. Yeah, we have different bookmark items here. Can we open a dialog box and work with a drop-down list? Did we do that? We did that last week. Draw a picture in the paint program. Yes, we did that last week. Can we use a calculator program? We have that on our cell phones too. We didn't play a game, but we know how to do that. Play a game on our computer. The language objective. Use vocabulary words to describe parts of different programs. And we did that when we had our conversation with each other. Use computer verbs to describe actions you can do with different programs. We did that. Talk with a partner about drawing a picture in the paint program. We did that. And talk with a partner about different kinds of tasks you can do with programs. So we've accomplished Chapter 3. Let's go over our homework. So if you can open your packet to page 63. Jeanette, could you get me, is there a number 3 in there? I thought I had it. The packet. Please. Thank you. It has number 3, Chapter 3. All right, so if we go to page 63, we have the verb worksheet. This was your homework assignment, and we're going to go over it and go over the answers, correct what you wrote. So number 1 says, let's read this together. You can preview a document to see how it will look when you print it. So after we did our painting, I don't think I had you print it, did I? We can do that today. When we have extra time, we will do print out. But a preview is taking a look at the page before you print it to make sure it's ready. All right, number 2. To appear is when an object shown on the screen and you can see it. That doesn't mean to appear is when an object shows on the screen. I think I'm missing the S. Appear. Number 3. To uncheck a box is called to clear it. Right. Very good. It's selected, but if you want to unselect, you click it again to clear it. Number 4. To check a box means to click the box so that a check mark appears. Number 5. To look at something is to view it. Right? View is a fancy word to say see it or look at it. It's a computer word, right? Number 6, to play means to use a computer game. Yes. Number 7, to keep your finger pressed on the mouse button is to hold the button. Very good. Number 8, to release means to take your finger off the mouse button. And number 9, to let up means to release or let go of a button. I never used that phrase. Do you? Let up?
Release.
I don't even think I even hear that. Let up. Release? We say release or unclick. Yeah. All right. How did you guys do? Did you guys do okay?
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Alrighty. So now we're making a good time. Let's see. We are ahead. We still have, I think what we'll do is let us go back and familiarize ourselves with the paint program so we can print. Because we didn't get to print. So if you can go to your desktop, you can turn on your monitors if they're not on. And to open the paint program, what is the first thing we need to do? How do we open the paint program? What's the first button we need to click on? It's the same button that we use to turn on and off the computer, the start button. Let's click on the start button. So move your mouse pointer down to the lower left hand, click it once, and you get all these programs that are in the computer. Now, I don't see I don't see the shortcut for paint. But do you see here where it says search, where it has that little search icon? I'm going to type paint. P. All I had to do was type P. I could type the whole word paint, but now it comes up. Here's the paint app. That's what I want. Not paint 3 4D. Click on just the paint app. It looks like that icon, and you're going to select it. Now I have my paint window. How does everything look back there, Jeanette? Now, my window is minimized just a little. I want to fill my screen. What do I do? Very good. Press the maximize button. So I'm going to do that. Maximize. Now it's on the whole page. The window is. But my page is still small. What can I do to fill my window with my page? Or make my page bigger? The zoom. This is the zoom. These are the zoom buttons right here. So I'm going to click on the zoom, this plus, or move this little blue bar across a little to make it bigger. So if you move your mouse pointer down to where you see the zoom buttons, and you see it says zoom when you click on it, and I can make it bigger. So now I filled my screen. Now the page is bigger.
What do they need to press?
Okay, so to get into the program? Okay, so to get into the program, they click the start button down here. Click it once. Once they've clicked it, if they go to this search field, type the letter P for paint, and when they do that, it should appear P, and this is what it looks like. Okay, everyone there? Look at your neighbor. Does your neighbor need help? Can you walk them through it? Don't do it for them, but tell them how to do it. Now, what do we call this part of this program? What is this called? The ribbon. This is the ribbon, just like the word ribbon. And we have all these different options. We have this one doesn't have a dialog box launcher, but it does have the drop-down list arrow, these little arrows, right? And as a review, if we click on one of these little arrows, click on it, that little mini menu appears, right? And if you click over to the, what would we call this area? What is this area? Workspace. You see how my cursor changes to a little plus sign. Here it says clipboard. So this section here has to do with clipboard. This says image. All of this has to do with image. Tools. This is the tool section. Shapes. So you can see as I move my mouse arrow, it kind of highlights different buttons that you can see as I move it across. See how the buttons appear? So again, here is the cursor, and it's ready. And it's preset as a brush. And the color for mine is black. So if I click and hold my mouse, remember we're using the dragging function, I can draw. So I'm making my L for my name. Here's L. So I want to change it. I want to change the color. So maybe I'll select the green. And to change the color for the rest of the word, here's green. So it's already green. And over here, it says size. If I click that drop-down arrow, I can make it thicker. Here's it thicker. Or I can make it thinner. Unselect. Shapes. Here's a diamond. If I click and drag, I can make my shape big or small. It's still selected. Do you see how it's still highlighted with these little boxes? That means I can change things. I can also change the size, make it thinner, a little thinner. I can still change the color. I can still move it around to make it bigger, change it around. But once I click over here, it's no longer highlighted. I can't do anything else to it. I can't move it. I can't change the color. It's already there. Who remembers, let's say I don't want that there. Who remembers what I can do to erase it? This is the redo button, or undo. That's the undo button, right? So if I move my mouse pointer up there, if I hover, it tells you its name. It's called undo. So if I click it once, it goes away. So it kind of goes back and gets rid of the last thing you did. So if I click it again, it's going to get rid of that one too. So I'm going to click it again, and it's gone. And if I click it again, that one's gone. So it's all... But let's say, I do want to keep the green one. So I'm going to go back and redo. It's going to redo what I did there. Alrighty, so why don't we practice? We did a little bit of drawing this way. Why don't we clear our screen. I'm going to go back. Let's go to the line. If you hover over this button, it says line. Click on that. I'm going to do green for grass because we're going to do a picture, and I'm going to drag it down to go all the way across. So that I'm going to say is grass. So if everyone can draw a line, make it green, whatever thickness you want. Then I'm going to go and select, let's see, whatever I do, it's going to change it. Undo. What just happened? Let me try that again. There's my line. All right. So now I'm going to go to, I'm going to unselect it. Whoops, this is still green. I don't know why it's doing that. There we go. So it's still selected. So I'm going to click over here to unselect it. Go to paintbrush. Let's see, it's already a paintbrush. I'm going to change it to a brown and make it thicker. And I'm going to make a mountain. Let's say I'm going to make some mountains out. Oops, it's still a line. I want to draw, so I can draw this squiggle line here. And I'm going to undo that. Now I should be able to, still a line. So let's see, draw and undo. Okay, let's try this now. There we go. These are my mountains that I'm going to draw in the background. And then I'm going to make this thicker and make a tree. I'll do a tree. I'll do this with a paintbrush. There we go. I'm going to make a tree right here. I think I did this last time. Make some branches. I'm going to close this. So this is my tree. I'm going to close this so that I can fill this space with brown. I can color it in like this, or I can go to the paint, make it brown, come over here, and it'll fill it in. Just select all of the areas that I want brown. Then we have shapes. This shape kind of looks like a top of a tree, so that's why I'm going to use this. I can use this one. So these are different ways that we can make a picture. Let's see if this one's better. Nah, I don't like that one either. I think it's this one. That kind of looks like a tree. Yeah, there we go. To me, that looks more like a tree. Okay, so there's my tree. So go ahead and play with the shapes. You can either make a design with your shapes, or you can draw a picture. If I click on File, New, I'm not going to save that one. I'm going to make this bigger. If you hit, you get a new page, and you can do something with shapes if you want. See, is this a circle? You can do something pretty with shapes. I know we have some really creative people can do things. Let's see, make this one pink. You can do flowers. You can do designs. Move this around. Fill it up. Let's see. If I do an arrow, what would that look like? Here's an arrow. I can move this over here. I can make it smaller. I can change the color. Can I move it around? Let's see. It's not letting me move it around. So you can do a design, and again, I can go back to some that I already saved. Here's one that I saved, and we did save on desktop. This was a design I did with a circle, a heart. I put triangles and stars and lines connecting them. So this was a design I did. And I know some of you did some really nice ones. You can open up your last paint project, your drawing. You can work on it a little more, and we can print it when you're ready. Okay, or you can start a new one. So Jeanette and I are going to come around and help you with some assistance if you need help using the different tools that are in the paint program. And I do want to have everything printed. So let me show you something else. If you go here to A, select the A, that's the font. And you see my cursor, how it looks like a letter I? If I click and hold, it makes this box. I'm going to let go, and you see the blue. That is a field to type. And I'm going to type my name, Lisa Martinez. Oh, and if you remember, it kept my settings from last time. It's preset. So anytime I type anything, it's going to do that. So I'm going to change my settings in a minute. But there's my name. And if I unselect, when I print it, it'll have my name on it. Okay? So use the text button. That's what this A button is called. If you hover over it, it says text. Click and move over here, and you can type more stuff. Okay? You can change the settings of this. Let's see, fonts. Here's the style of my font. You can change the size of your name as well. Here you can change thicker. What are you going to draw? So what are you going to do? I can finish my drawing. So remember, if you want to start a new page after you practiced, I'm going to go back to my other page. Let's see, if I minimize, no, that didn't work. Go back. Oh, I didn't save it. That's right. So I'm going to hit File, New, don't save. Make this page bigger. And let's see, what did I want to do? I want to finish. So if I want to do a straight line, I can do my mountains. Brown. Use my pencil. Actually, I'll use my paintbrush. Was that an earthquake? Kind of feel it. Or no, that's you. Oh, it's an earthquake. I'm feeling shaky. I can show you another trick. If you like a design, like let's say we have this diamond. I'm going to make this diamond blue. So I have this diamond, and I want the same diamond. Rather than try to make another diamond the same size, you can copy and paste. I'm going to make this thin. So let's say I want this same diamond. I want 5 of those diamonds. It's still selected. If I go over to, let's see, I don't see the clipboard highlighted. If I hit on my keyboard, Control C. So right here on your keyboard it says CTRL. So if you hit CTRL, that button, plus the C button for copy. The C is for copy. Then you hit Control with the V button, and I don't know why it's V. Why is it V?
Like P, right? Like paste?
Yeah, for paste it should be Control P, but that's print. Oh. So I'm going to hit Control C, and that should copy it. Now I'm going to click over here and hit Control V, and it didn't do it. It should do it. Control V. Let me back up. Is that why it's not? It's supposed to be able to copy and paste. Let me try that again. It's selected. Control V. No, Control C for copy. Control V. I don't know why it's not. Usually you can copy and paste. And it's not being highlighted. I wonder why. Clipboard. Control. Yeah, it's not letting me. Sorry, that usually will work. All right, unselect. So I'll give you guys 5 more minutes, and we can print what you got. All right, so that's my picture. Why don't we finish up? How's everyone doing? Everyone's doing okay? If you would like to print it, make sure I have paper in here. So far, the printer should be working. I'm going to print mine. We go to the File tab. So move your mouse pointer to File. Oh, I don't put my name on here. I'm going to put my name on here. I'll do it right here. And I can make this smaller or bigger. I can change the color. I guess I'll leave it blue. Okay, if I unselect, there's my name. File, go down to Print. Just click on Print, and it has this, it's another window that appears, a print window. Just click Print. And it won't print it in color, sadly, but we can save it. No, it doesn't do it justice. It looks better in color. So you can print it, but we're going to save it. So go ahead and print. So hit the File tab and then click Print. We can save it And later we could probably email it to yourself. And if you have a color printer at home, you can print it there. But file, print. Here it says number of, what does that say? Copies? Yes, number of copies. So let's say I want to give each of you one of my beautiful pictures. I can put 20 and it'll print 20 pictures for me. You can just hit print. I'm going to click cancel. Now I'm going to save. To save this, let me find the page where we reviewed saving. If you go to page 61, go to page 61. Maybe next time I'll show you how to do a map using the shapes. I'm going to minimize this. I need to open my projector program. So on page 61, this was an activity showing you how to use lines to make a map. If we use the line option, we could write or make these streets. And using the square shape, we can do squares representing our homes or other buildings. But down here at the bottom, number 4, to print the map or your picture, choose File, Print, and then click Print again. So the information is right there on page 51. So if I minimize this, go back to my picture, hit File, go down to Print. You see the icon of a printer. Click it, and then click Print again at the bottom of the window taskbar or the window bar. Just click Print and it'll print again. Next, if you look at the bottom of page 61, I'll go back there again. If you're ready to save, right here at the bottom it says close Paint without saving the map. Well, we want to save it. Or if you know how to save a file, use File, Save As to save it. Now, if you're working on a picture that you've already saved, it's going to be a lot easier. You just hit Save. And if you look at the icon, let's see, is there a save here? Right here. Do you see this little icon right there? If you hover over it, it says Save. It'll save it there for you. If I click Save, this window appears, the Save window. I already have these 2 paintings saved, and it's saved to the desktop, the blue screen that comes on. You can give it a name. Do you see right here it says Untitled? I already have a picture called Lisa, and another one called Lisa's Picture. I think here I'll call this Mountain Scene. I'll just say Mountain Scene. I'll give it a name, Mountain Scene. So once you've given it a name, it says right here, File Name, click Save, and it should save it on desktop. And here are 2 of my pictures. The last picture is right here. Here's a little tiny picture of the scene I just did. If I double click on that, it'll show up. There's my picture. And will it show the other one? There's the other design I did. All right, if I close these windows, they go back onto the desktop. We can save these anywhere on the computer, but I think it's easier to find it when you save it to desktop. All right. I have a couple pictures. Howard. I have Howard and Kim. Howard, I like that. Howard. Once you have saved and printed your picture, why don't we open the Word program so we can begin our lesson? Oh, it didn't do the whole thing. Here's this one. And then I have this one. Ronnie. This one, thank you. Got a few. All right, so we're going to open the window program. If we can click on the Start button and select Start button and select Windows, Word. Here's the Word program here. We're going to open that because we're going to do some typing and select a blank document. We're opening this. and getting it ready for our next activity, our next lesson. We'll start. Actually, wait a minute. Is it break time? No, we have 10 more minutes. 9 more minutes for break. We have Martha. There you are. Oh. And whose is this one? Is that? You're welcome. All right. So here is my word program. I'm going to maximize it to fill the screen, making my page a little bigger. Oh, here's another one. Looks pretty. Whose is this one? Who just printed? Did anyone just print? Someone just printed a mountain scene or a tree. Whose tree is this? All right. Once you have opened the word program, if we can turn off our monitors, we have this ready for the next lesson. We're going to begin Unit 4. And I have these, Jeanette. Here's Unit 4. I'm probably overly prepared now. I've got it full, but I'll do the first row. Here's our new Unit 4. Unit 4 begins on page 65. So I hope you weren't bored with painting. I really wanted you to understand the paint program before we moved on. Okay. So go ahead and we'll have a few minutes. We'll just go over the vocabulary to start with. And then we'll take our break. So page 66 has the nouns. Actually, the objectives. Page 65, you have a picture here introducing creating a Word document. So we've taken a look at the Word program, and we learned about the ribbon. We learned how to use all the different options that are on the window. When you come in early, you practice typing. So some of you have gotten really good at typing. That will make it a lot easier to begin this program, because in order to learn how to type a document, you need to know how to type, right? So page 65, here are our new objectives. These are I can statements, what we're going to need to know before you go home today. You will use the computer keyboard. You can already do that. If you're not henpecking with one finger, if you're using all your fingers and you're not looking at your fingers, you're learning how to use the keyboard. Create and edit a Word document. So that means you're going to type something, sentences. That is creating a document, a page with information. Edit. When you write something in your classes, that's called the first draft. That means you write and write and write, and there's going to be mistakes and errors, but that's okay because you're just starting. Then you turn it into the teacher, and the teacher reads it and goes, wow, this is good, but don't forget you misspelled this word, or you used this word too many times, or you didn't use that word correctly, or can you add another sentence in there? And so she marks it up, she edits it, and then she gives it back to you with the corrections. Then you retype it or you rewrite it, and then it's perfect. That's the final draft. Well, on the Word program, you type, and then you can go back and make corrections, and it's very easy to do. And so we'll be doing that today. And then we've already learned how to print a picture. We will be printing our documents. Language objectives. We will use the vocabulary words to discuss the Word program and the keyboard. We'll use computer verbs explaining the actions we take to describe what we do on Word and our keyboard. Computer language to talk about how we created the document. So that's our fun conversation that we do. We begin with this little line here. Does anybody know what this is called? That little flashing line? It does look like a little letter I, and when I describe it, I usually say it looks like an I. It kind of looks like this, and it's flashing. That's called, and I've said it a few times already.
Cursor.
A line that on the screen that shows where you are going to type next. When we were on the painting program, you had this funny little plus sign that appeared, right? It was kind of really faint. Kind of looked like that. And whenever you moved the mouse arrow, it showed you if you started, that's where you were going to start, right? Well, that's what the cursor does. The cursor shows you the place that you'll begin typing. Wherever that cursor is, that's where your typing is going to be, where the letters are, cursor. Then we have these arrows here, and those are keys that move your cursor to another place on your page or document. Now, one thing to remember is that there's more than one way to do something. There's one way to do something, but then after you learn that, you realize, whoa, there's a faster way to do that. There's all these shortcuts. So there's many different ways to do the same thing. And this is one way to move this cursor around your page. The arrow keys, let's see, on mine, my arrow keys are right here. Can you point to your arrow keys on your keyboard? Are they found in the general area here? Those are the keyboards. Later in this unit or chapter, we'll see the placement of these keys as well. So keys that move the cursor without erasing. Okay, so that doesn't erase. It's not like the backspace. We'll learn that this backspace erases. Okay? Arrow keys.
Arrow key.
Arrow key.
Arrow key.
Is everyone's monitor off right now? If we can turn our monitors off.
Arrow
I'm going to have your attention. All right. Next, the backspace. The backspace, if you can locate that, this is my backspace up here. Your backspace should be in the general area, right? It has an arrow going back. A key that erases what is to the left of the cursor. All right? And we'll get into that in a minute. And I don't know why I did that. Let me get rid of this. Guess I must have hit something by accident. Next we have the enter key. Enter key right here.
Enter key.
Sometimes you have two. Yeah, here's the other one. So if you're just working in this keypad, it's easy to hit the enter key right there if you're doing numbers. If you're typing, you hit the enter key with your pinky there. So there's usually two enter keys. It's the key that moves your cursor to the next line. Okay, enter, boom. It moves it to the next line. Enter key.
Enter key.
Shift.
Shift key.
This is the shift key. When we want to capitalize a letter, some of you have gotten used to hitting the caps lock. We don't want to do that because every time we hit that, everything's capitalized, right? Then you got to hit it again. But if you just touch the shift key, it will capitalize only that one letter, or until you lift your finger and not select it. So it is the key that helps make a capital letter or the top symbol of a button. Okay? So right here we have number 1, but I want the exclamation mark. So to get that exclamation mark, I have to hit shift and then the exclamation mark, right? So the top keys. Delete.
Delete.
Why do we need a delete button when we have a backspace button?
Delete.
There's a reason. Another option. Get a key that erases what is to the right of the cursor. And if you look back here, the backspace, a key that erases to the left of the cursor. So backspace, you see how the arrow's going to the back to the left? And then the delete erases what is to the right of the cursor. So that's one difference. The delete key. The delete key for me, go ahead and find your delete key. Mine is a little tiny button right up here. My keyboard is a little different from yours. Your delete key is right here. So you have a group of buttons. And in your group of buttons to the right, you'll see your delete key. Did everyone find it?
Yes.
Delete.
Okay. Space bar.
Space bar.
Space here.
So space bar is really good. It's nice and long because when you are typing and you have all your fingers on here, your thumbs rest because every word has a space in between, doesn't it? So you need a lot of spaces. So you're always using your thumbs to click the spaces in between words. The bar that puts a space between words, space bar. What do we call all of these letters and words in computer language? The letters, numbers, and symbols you type on the keyboard, what are those called? Text. Yes, we say text. And in the style of text, we say font. The font are the letters themselves, right? Okay. So when we type the text. And this is the printer, a machine that puts information from the computer to the printer, right? That's the printer. It prints it all off for you. All right, so those are our new words. Let's see if we remember some of them. Let's read this together. A line on the screen that shows where you are. What is that called?
Cursor.
All right. Keys that move your cursor to another place without erasing. What are those called? So these right here. Arrow keys. They're arrows. So arrow keys, yes. Arrow keys. And then the key that erases what is to the left of the cursor.
Backspace.
Backspace. Good. A key that moves the cursor to the next line. Enter key. Good. A key that helps make a capital letter or the top symbol of a typed key. What is that?
Shift.
The shift key, yes.
Shift key.
A key that erases what is to the right.
Delete key.
The delete key. The bar that puts a space between words. The letters, numbers, and symbols you type on the keyboard. Text. You guys remember all this? You guys are getting good. A machine that puts information from the computer onto a sheet of paper. Printer. Good. And I'm sorry we went over by 5 minutes. So we will begin our break and we will finish at 10:35. All right? So we'll have our 15 minutes. So go ahead and enjoy your break. If you brought, thank you. So we'll take our break right now.